Alright, hopefully we're on. Can I open up chat and ping everybody? Hey YouTube, go to my channel. Alright. Can I hear myself? Can I hear myself? Test again. Test again. Yep, I can. Oh, alright. Cool. Now I can mute my phone. And I have chat on the side. Boom. Things ready. And I guess I see how loud the music is. Yeah, I can barely hear it. Alright. So okay, I'm just kidding. I keep on hearing myself on repeat, my bad. I'm gonna pause. 3, 2, 1. Testing. Yeah, this is good. Alright. No one's here yet, so I'm just gonna talk to the VOD people. Hello everybody, welcome to the VOD of this video. This is a continuation of yesterday's stream, where I failed to find the solution I need. But I now have I had a eureka moment, and I now can continue the experimentation. So I'm doing a little bit of changing here, and I'm going to separate the extension and the distraction feature. And so that if we ever have any issues, we can isolate it to a certain feature and not a group of features. Right? So extension and retraction are actually two separate things. They use two separate mechanisms. So it makes sense that I would, if one of them had a problem, I would only need to fix the one with the problem and not both of them. Anyway, some extra things I need here is a role. And I also need to be able to switch to FK and FK and IK. 8, I also want to turn off stretch. Also, I just want to just take this. Okay, so here are a lot of new stuff. Oh, hello Gplays, welcome to the stream. I'm going to be doing some rigging today. Continuation from I think, was that yesterday that I was streaming? I think it was yesterday. I'm going to continue from yesterday. We have a lot more requirements now that I have got the basics of it. So I've just add one more. So we already have, I don't want to do the role system. Switch FK to IK, turn off stretch, and okay, FK and IK must be separate. Okay, so here's what we have. Now, this is going to be based on bendy bones, because bendy bones are the simplest ways to rig things, in my opinion. And we also have test meshes. These are accurate to the model that we will finally be using these rigs. And we have an arm proportion and we have a leg proportion. So we need to make a rig that fits all of these criterias and also works on these meshes. Can you give me feedback on my animation? Sure, I'm down to give feedback on animation. You send it. If you don't know my Discord is TM Planner. You can just quickly search that up and you'll get it. Okay, so we're gonna start with the leg. I'm gonna hide this. Oh, sorry, no, we're gonna start with the arm actually, not the leg. Hello, viewer. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate the compliments. I will work even harder to make even better animations in the future. Face, we're gonna snap it to the center of the. What the? Oh, you're all the way over there. Wait, 1 second. There we go. No wonder. Yeah, I want to snap it to the face center, please. say center snap, snap. Right. This will be called arm. Let's start with the .else. So arm.bendybone.l, and we're also gonna call this the overall bendybone. The reason we have that is because we will be following from yesterday. I'm gonna send some animations to you 1 minute. Okay, thank you very much. I'm eagerly waiting. Right, so we're gonna move one up. Alright. Go up once, and then over here as well, we're gonna go up. Make sure I parent. Boom, and we're gonna call this over arm.overall head.l. Overall, hopefully it's spelled correctly. Overall tail.l. Probably should have been .r, not .l, but it is. Okay, and then this is properly parented. Yep. And you need to be separated. Control Shift C, stretch to constraint. All right, I need to make sure. Okay, so we can already start with one of these things, right? I want to be able to turn off stretch, and I can already do that right now. I have an idea of how I want to do that. So first, before we do that, actually, let's just turn on the bendy bone. We're gonna go 8 bendy bones as usual. Go head and tail on this one, and we're gonna switch this to the bendy bone and Control Shift S. Okay, so currently we have stretch on. I want to turn stretch off actually. And turning off stretch will make it look like this, which is not exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for is it depth track that I'm looking for? Yeah. So we have stretch on, stretch off, and this is stretch off. Now the thing is, we actually need to remove the ease when this happens. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to add a, so this is going to be normal, and then when we turn this off, it's going to go like this. It's okay if we keep damp track on and stretch to constraint at the same time, because stretch to constraint is actually the same as damp track. But when we turn off a damp track, when we turn off stretch to, damp track is always active. Okay, so that means damp track. Oh, can you give me your Discord? It's TMLANER. It's the same as my YouTube channel, so you can just type that exactly. I should be called Lonamore in Discord. I think I'm getting a little sick. Alright, so that means stretch to constraint will be the one moving. Damp track is always on. So we're just going to copy this as a driver. I'm going to go all the way here, ease out, paste, and basically whenever the ease out is 0, that's when this has to be -1. So we're going to go scripted expression, and we're going to just call this x, right? So when x is equal to 0, we need something. Oh, I just got an email. 1 second, guys. I'll be back. Alright, sorry about that. I am back. It's got a SMS from the court, so I can get a quote here. Right, so as I was saying, when stretch to constraint is 1, we want the ease out to be -1, basically. So we have to have -1 as our base, and then we add the stretch to constraint value. Because when stretch to constraint is 0, we get -1. When we get stretch to constraint as 1, we get 0, which is perfect. There we go. Nice and easy way to turn off stretch. So now, when we turn on stretch, it goes like this, and also follows the rotation or wherever this is pointing, which is great. It's not like perfect. This doesn't like directly snap towards it. I think I kind of want it to directly snap towards it though. Is there a way to do that? Aim at the head, I guess. Yeah, it's not too accurate, but it's okay. Totally okay with this. I'm gonna make sure I do a few things where I'm gonna disable the inherit scale. So when I scale this bone, this doesn't get affected. And then I'm going to make sure that this bone has a armature, and then we're gonna go head, go average scale, local, and then I make sure that this is 1 minus variable. Okay. Now that we've done that, we can actually change this. Ooh, I just noticed it's the wrong direction. Oh, it's variable minus 1. Right, there we go. Now we have this. Cool. Accept me, please. Oh, shoot, my bad. I have stream on full screen, so there we go. I have added it. Please do send me your clips. I shall watch. Right, so we're moving on. So we have turn off stretch now. Cool. But this is much better than the previous one I did, because previous one I just like switched I had 2 spline rigs and I switched between them, and it's really annoying because it just gives so much bones, right? So it's really hard to add extra things. Also, I need to make sure I send this to everybody. Give me a second. Gonna go WhatsApp. Send it to the family group. There we go. And oh wait, wrong guy. Is right, so my mom's calling me. Yes. Better option. Okay, apology for that. Let me see the things you sent. Okay. It's taking a while to download because my Wi-Fi is bad. Please forgive me for that. I'll just wait until this fully plays out. Then I'll download it. Okay, wow, it's taking really slow. Alright, so while it's downloading, I'm just gonna keep on working on the rig. So if I now scale this here, perfect. You set this to 0. Not completely 0, but like this. This, scale this up, okay. Into that, and then we can always stretch it, oops, properly. Yep, and I just have to always make sure that this is pointing this direction. Okay, that will be something the client has to figure out. It's taking a long time to download this. I don't know why. Anyway, I'm just gonna download it to my computer. Hopefully, it's faster. Oh, it's much faster. What's wrong with Discord? Alright, I'm gonna play this on 1 by 1 first before I put it. Whoa, that's loud. Okay, and then we got this one. Okay, and then the last one is preview 1. Oh, alright, so we got intros going in. Okay, let's do a bit of review then. Since you so kindly sent your files, let me just pop up YouTube again because I don't have chat. Okay. Video editing. Right, so let's just join left so we can see the whole screen here. Properties on the right. And I'm just gonna import. Let's do this one first. Oh damn. We good? Alright, good. So we'll just look at this real quick. See what we have here. What is it? 700 and that's about right. 720. Okay, let's do a bit of review on this one because I think I like this one the most out of the 3. Can't keep this too long because I still have to work on the rig. So first thing, it's a great animation. I think we have a few things you can improve probably, especially with the camera motion, right? It's the camera motion, right? So like when you're trying to do camera cuts like here, and then there's another one, over, not this one, like this one right here. And then this one here, I guess. And so over here, this camera motion is the character movements is cool, power looks nice and all. This is fine. I just have an issue with this. Moving up does not feel right. Obviously, you camera cut it so that he's actually, you know, in a different pose now, so like it's an immediate cut. I'm assuming there's music in the back of this, but without the music I can't exactly tell what's going on. Or like, you know, there's probably reasons why you did a few things because of the music, but because the music is not part of the video right now, I can't see them. So first thing is a discontinuity where he's on the ground currently, and in the next frame he's standing up. You know, trying to be cheeky with the camera cuts is cool and all, but this feels a little bit too big of a jump. Me personally, I would go through the process of making him slowly get up with his hands and his feet touching up. And also, rotating your camera upward like this does not make any sense, right? Trying to cut the camera, but it feels like it just feels like a distraction right now. So I would keep the camera straight. So here's what I would do, right? So keep the camera straight in this position, do not move it up. And then when you cut here, right? So you notice that, okay, let's say you don't want to animate him getting up. You don't want to animate him getting up, right? So if you don't want to do that, what you can do is you can position your camera so that he is down here, still on the ground, and he's getting up, entering into the camera. So that way, all you need to do is animate him standing up instead of, you know, using his hands and all that. So that's a way you can cheese this, but still make it look good. So again, let me just show you what that would look like. I'm just gonna add a camera. So let's say this is the camera, right? And then your character is here. Your character is here, so the ground would be here, right? And so you just animate your character standing up, and it'll be like a really close face shot. This might also make it a little bit more cinematic because right now you can see his whole body. Instead, you'll just see his like upper body here, and then you zoom in on that, right? So that might make it a little bit more cinematic, and it also helps cheese it a little bit so you don't have to animate everything. Because I can tell, you know, You just wanted to have him stand up. No, you didn't want to do the stand-up animation, which is understandable, right? So after that, there's a bit of camera movement where he's moving. The camera's moving with his, his body, which is good, but usually that's best done when you have some sort of when you want to change the focus of your scene. So for example, if he decided to point at the zombie and then your camera moved with his arm, that would make a lot of sense. But right now your camera is moving with his arm, kind of like, I guess like taking a deep breath, which is, it's not bad, but it doesn't really add anything to the story, right? So like, this is fine. A little bit, I would say it's a little bit wobbly, like this specifically. Not this movement, right from here. Your camera, not yet. Here, okay. Your camera zips from here to here, and it's very straight, which I personally don't like because it feels very. Okay, so again, so it goes straight right, and then it goes up a little bit, right? So it goes. This is the motion your camera makes. Doesn't feel really nice. Rule number one of when you're making lifelike animation is to always have arcs. So when your camera is moving, try and make it move like this instead, right? So it's more curved instead of just straight. But the camera motion itself is not bad. This is pretty good. I would maybe move, this is like a frame thing, but just personally, I would move this arm down here so it's kind of like dragging in the dirt. And then it goes out. It goes out, right? So that's something I would do. But going out of the ground is still nice. This is kind of funny. I think that's cool. I think he stops too fast though, so I think you should add either. So currently he's going from the ground and then up, and then he stops. I would either make it from the ground, he goes up, and then a little bit he slows down, right? Or he goes up, then he bounces back down. That's another possibility. So like he's bouncing up, but then his shoulders are stuck on the dirt. So his head goes a little bit up and then it goes back down. That might add a little bit more emotion or life to your otherwise dead zombie. I like that last bit though, where he blinks and he looks at the side. That's nice. Here, this head movement is a little bit sporadic. It's a little difficult, obviously, to do, but if you, I would work a little bit more on this. Check the curves. This is nice. Way the sword comes in again. There's a lot of like camera shake. I'm not saying camera shake is bad, but I would lower it. Maybe to like half strength right now. Whatever it is right now, make it half strength. I don't know where you made this. Is this like, I have no idea actually. Could be C4D, could be Prisma, whatever you use, right? If it's Blender, what we do for camera shake is I have a camera shake add-on which shakes the camera like this, and I would just reduce the strength by 50%. So that's what I would do for the overall scene, because there's a lot of camera shaking, and you don't really need all of this camera shaking, right? Because it feels very handheld. But anyway, moving on. I like the anime. Ooh, right. So I like this walk animation. Okay, here's one issue that comes. Okay, I like this where you move the camera in sync with the body, because this is like one of those things that I was talking about where you're kind of directing focus, right? So here you move the camera when the character notices the zombie or wants to attack the zombie or whatever, right? That's good. The only issue is, notice how the camera is moving. It's going like this, right? This is one of the instances where I would have it go straight. So I would first reposition the camera so that the center point is his face. So the camera would be like this instead. And then you just zoom in. You just zoom in instead of like, going left, right. That would make it a little bit more cleaner in this case specifically. Anyway, moving on. This is great animation. Maybe I have his hands move a little bit up and down, If you want it to be rigid, it's fine. But I think because this is a joint, right, between the elbow and the arm, there's a joint there, you can add a bit of rotation on this. Right? You can keep the arms rigid, but the arm should be rotating a little bit, I feel, just because it looks extremely stiff to the point where I feel like it's unrealistic, right? And here another camera cut, which I don't think was necessary, I don't think you needed a cut here unless... Oh no, it's not a cut. This is just really fast animation that looks like a cut. The issue here is that you stop your camera right here really fast. So now your camera kind of stopped. Yeah, right here, it stopped. So it's moving, and then it stopped rotating. And it's rotating really slowly. So what it would look like in the ramp would be... It would look like this. Right? So it's like you have no motion, and then really fast motion, and you stopped. I would make it so that you can have very fast startup, but then you need to slow it down a little bit like this, so you have a gradual smoothing of the curve. I'll show you what it looks like if we were to animate that. So we're gonna go empty, let's go arrows, move this to the side, parent this to this. So what you did was basically this. Oops, my bad. That was not what you did, but 1 second. Right, so this is what it looks like you did. Oh, come on. Are we serious? 1 second. Let me just do only active keying set, and then the keying set will be lockrod scale. Okay, now I'm just gonna set everything up again. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then move this really close. So what I saw was this. What? Never mind. Why is this not working? Oh, okay, something's... Oh, because the camera itself is animated. My bad. There we go. Okay, so this is what I see. Wait a bit. Wait for it. Okay, no. See, actually even faster than that. Yeah, so this is what I'm seeing. I would make it so that this fast part, you can keep the fast part, but you need to have a little bit of smoothing. Like that. Because it's kind of like slow motion, right? You're going for a slow motion shot. Right here, right? Yeah, so this is a slow motion shot. So when you're slow motion, your camera still moves, right? Your camera doesn't stay still when you're in slow motion. So a little bit of rotation here, and then you keep on going. So that's another thing I would change. And this one is fine. Here's something I would do, right? He spins. I would have the camera. See, your camera spinning with the character as well. I would have the camera be delayed slightly so you can see the arc of the sword. Right. So delay it a little bit so that the background doesn't move too much. And then over here you would just change the camera. And also I would make it continuous. So right here you change the camera. Here it's the same pose as last time, because right here you're already well past slashing the guy. But then you go back here, you're kind of going back in time to show the slash. So what I would do is make it continuous so that over here you stop, and then you switch the camera to this position. So this is what it would look like. I'm gonna cut this 1, 2, 3, cut, delete this middle part. So it would look like this. Much smoother compared to let me just extend this back. This, well, actually they both look pretty smooth, but over here he's not cut yet, right? But over here the blade is already well past his body, so he should have been cut at this point. But yeah, just small things like that. Oh, hello Michael, welcome to the stream. I was doing some rigging, but we're gonna do a bit of animation review while I got some stuff. Also, I feel like I'm getting a little sick here. But anyway, that's about it. The animation is fine. I don't think there's anything too bad about the animation. It's like, obviously there's you could be better, but like I would say this is above average animation based off what I see. It's pretty good. Right, so we're gonna do one more. There was a Roblox one when I saw it, and I was like, there's nothing much for me to say about it. I'll just show it, I guess, if you want to see it. Yeah, I'm not a Roblox animator, so I don't have too much stuff to say here. It's really good spline though. It's a good spline, but I don't have anything else to say because it's mostly lip sync, and I'm not usually the kind to do lip sync or like body animation with a saw. I kind of wanna, but I haven't gotten into doing it myself. Anyway, here's an intro one. That was a really good walk cycle. I'm gonna just so we don't waste too much time. I'm gonna say my opinions as I watch this for the first time. This is a great walk cycle. I really like it. The camera is very, very wobbly, which is fine. I can kind of see what you're trying to go with here, where she's kind of like shaking her head and like, I can't believe you're actually doing this, right? But I feel like resetting the position here. So she could have done it like this, but what you did was you had to position her head here first, and then she did it. And I feel like you didn't have to do that. Ooh. Now the first walk cycle was great. The second run cycle is very obviously, I can immediately see foot sliding. She is too slow for the action she's doing, and also I would keep the head looking straight. So like, don't make sure that the head does not rotate with the body, if that's even possible in the thing you're using. Okay, the arms look extremely floppy. Just saying. If you go over here, the arms look super floppy because the overlap is way too strong. And here, this is just the choreography here is a little bad because she swings forward, swings back, and then swings forward again. Which, you know, if I'm assuming you've never held a sword or a stick, usually when you want to swing forward, you only do one swing back. So I wish I could show you, but I'm not going to open up my webcam. So what you would do here is remove this. This is the bad pose. You're not supposed to. I mean, you're probably doing this because you're trying to mix it in with the run cycle as well, because her left foot is up, so her right hand would be forward. But you could ignore all of the rules of run cycles, walk cycles when you're transitioning between poses, because you would focus more on the attack than the walk. So in this case, she should be getting ready to attack, arms behind her. Maybe she's like this. Right, something like that, I don't know. Right, and then the sword is here, so her arm should be back. And then see how awkward it looks, because it looks like she's attacking here, but then, oh nope, I'm not attacking, I'm just putting my hand back, and then you attack. But again, here, this is really close. When you're fighting someone, you need to gauge distance. No one is going to be readying an attack when you're this close. She should be a few steps back, because when she attacks, she's gonna swing her arm forward and then hit her. If she swings her arm now, the sword is going to go in front of this person, right? So it's completely misses. So this is just, I would say, bad fight choreography. I would make sure you get this fixed by moving her a few steps back. This would also help with her speed, because she's supposed to be running here, but again, not very fast run. And I see foot sliding. So I would start her all the way over here, so that she has enough time to run fast. And then here, you know, go a few steps back again, so she has enough distance so that the sword actually hits the character and not her hand. Hello, A-Stream. Welcome to the stream. We're doing a bit of animation review before I go back into rigging. This is Gplay's animation we're reviewing. That's okay. This is fine because you block her hand with your elbow, which is kind of cool. And I like that the sword kind of wobbles backwards, shows that it's kind of rigid, like that. You kind of flip, you gotta like low sweep her. Oh, here's another thing, right? Where you strike, she's already punched here. But over here, she's, you know, you go back in time, you rewind the clock before she punches. And also, here, look here. She's already punched. You're just now starting to block the shot. It should be, you know, you get me? If you're gonna rewind time, I would rewind until she's here, still getting ready to punch. And because then that would give you enough time to block it, right? Because right now she's already punched, and then you're just like, I don't know, you stop time and try to block the shot. Anyway, that's an issue. I would also add a little bit of, I wouldn't say wobble, but like, you know, movement here and then back. So yeah, it is wobble, just to show the power of the punch, maybe. And this is fine, this is great. We grab her. That's nice. And then, you know, typical intro stuff. I don't do intros anymore, so don't know much about the text, but yeah, that's what I would say. So again, this girl and her positioning needs to be changed so that her run cycle is good, and then her reach makes sense. Also here, make sure you do it realistically. So try this yourself and see how you would attack someone. This is fine. This is fine. here, or again, when you punch, you should have cut instantly here, because now you have an extra frame where she's like just like floating in the air. And each frame matters, right? You always want to make sure that you do touch every single frame of your animation. And then again here, you know, her arm's already out, nothing is happening, and you're like, oh, let me just go and block the punch when her hand isn't moving, so you're not like, that makes no sense. And then the rest is fine. So yeah. The pose for that part of the punch turned out really bad too, it needs improvement. Yeah. Overall, the animation is great. It's just a few of these things felt like, specifically, I guess, the fight stuff, you don't have the experience with posing yourself. So I would recommend, if you have a mirror, big mirror, whenever you're making things you've never made before, always do it in real life first. It helps a lot. Right? Make sure you're not wearing any baggy clothes so you can see how exactly your muscles are, even if you don't have muscles, I don't really care. You just need to see how your body twists and turns when you're doing actions, right? Sometimes if you have baggy clothes, it kind of obscures the silhouette, but the silhouette is really what you need. You need to know how the overall shape looks when you're doing these kind of things. Anyway, thank you for the animations you sent. We are now gonna go back to rigging. So today this is a continuation from yesterday, and I've added a few more things that I need in this rig. And I've had a Eureka moment, and I kind of know what I'm trying to do here, right? So again, first thing I want is to replicate the smooth bends of a bendy bone. So basically the bend of this rig must be smooth and must look good. It must not be bumpy. 2, I need an extension feature. 3, I need a retraction feature. 4, I need a tweak system. I need squash and stretch. I need a roll system. I need to be able to switch between FK and IK. Both of them will be smooth. I need to turn off stretch if I want to, and FK and IK must be separate. These are the things I need in this rig. Currently, what I have is I have replicate bendy bones, smooth bend for the bendy bone. I have turn off stretch, but that's all I have. I do not have an extension feature. I don't have a retraction feature. I don't have any of this. SNS will come later at the very end. So currently, I'll just quickly show so here's the rig, it moves, and currently it's stretching to the bone. I have a feature where I can turn off the stretch and it becomes like this. Right. Preferably, I would like for it to follow this, but I don't think it's possible. Unless here is a possible solution for that, actually. I go here. I'm gonna hide these two. I'm gonna add 2 buffer bones. I'm gonna call this arm. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna batch rename this. I'm gonna go change, find and replace. Overall, we're gonna change overall into buffer, or no, overall buffer. And we're going to add another one. We're going to find and replace 0.002 with nothing. Edit, so now we have these as that. And these will be positioned on this thing. Ooh, the problem is, do I even know how much I need it to be? I guess like that's going to be really annoying, because I don't actually know. Oh yeah, with each new animation, I usually try to practice something specific, like expressions, body mechanics, something like that. That's great. That's great. It's good to know that you're thinking very ahead. So like your experiments, which is very nice. The more you do, the more you realize what you can do. So what I was thinking of, right? It's like I move this here, and then I want this to follow with this bone, but then I want it to be stuck into this position. I don't think I can do that actually, unless I put a limit distance constraint. Limit distance should work. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put a copy transformation. Before we do that, actually, I need to make sure these guys have their own bone shape. So we're gonna go these two. Actually, no. Yeah, let's do these two. So these two will have a bone shape called BS sphere. Okay, make it a little bit smaller, 0.25. At 0.25, we're gonna give copy transform constraints to each of these. Right, and then copy, oops. Control Shift C, copy transform. It's the bottom, that's perfect. So we're gonna move this up like this, and then I somehow have to there we go. Now here, what I need to do is I have to somehow make a mathematical formula that calculates the length of this bendy bone. How the hell am I gonna do that? One way I can think of doing is by finding out I could possibly, here's what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add a driver here, and I'm gonna look specifically at the arm overall bendy bone, and I'm going to edit this driver. You guys can't see it, so I'm gonna just do it here. Driver editor. Right, and I just want to see what exactly the I think the name of this, right? So we've got the name. Go in, we're gonna delete this. I'm gonna add an input variable, gonna go transform channel, armature, gonna look at this one specifically. I want to see the Z scale. What is the current Z scale? 0.58. Oh, no, it's not Z scale, it's Y scale. Right, so here's an interesting thing. I now have the length of this bone, because I have the Y scale, and the Y scale, if none of you guys know, is this. Okay, don't look at the bone, just look at the direction. It is the up and down scale direction. Oh wait, keep saying something, but thank you very much for the feedback, Lucas. Could you send me your skin if possible? Yes, I can. Give me one moment. It's been so long since I've sent my skin to someone. I need to find out where it was. Where is it? It's in my animation. Intro, making characters, and then skins, textures. I forgot where I put it. Oh my goodness, where the hell did I put it? Testing textures. Okay, textures. Can I have my skin, please? Yeah. No, I do not know where my skin is. You know what? I have Neo to help me. Neo. And then I go for image. Pin messages? No, I've never pinned. Oh, here we go. Right. Here's the latest one by Neo, I think. I'm gonna send you. There you go. Enjoy the skin. Right. So let's go back here. Right. So as I was saying, right now we have the scale. Currently, it's 1. We can just say that this is 1 meter, right? We assume that this distance is 1 meter. It's not, but let's just assume it's 1 meter. When we scale the bone by 2 times, what happens to the distance? It goes up to 2 meters. So our scale, which is currently 2, is equal to our distance. We now have the length of this bone, right? Which is perfect. Because what we want is we want to make it so that whatever the length of the bone is, which is X, right? We want to have 1 over X. That is the length or the position where this bone should be. Okay, this is some crazy math right here, guys. So let's say we move this bone over here, and let's just see what the thing says. It is currently 2.16, meaning it is 2.16 meters. We want the bone to be positioned 1 meter along this bone from the bottom. Right, so 1 meter from the bottom means we have 1 meter here, and then we have 1.16 meters in the top. Right, so the fraction here is 1 over 1 plus 1.6. That's 1 over the scale, because we know that this is the scale. Right, so if I just put 1 divided by a variable here, it's 1 divided by variable. Notice how this will always be in this position, no matter how much I scale it up. Okay, we got it. We got it. Right. And the nice thing here is it actually follows the, what is it called? It follows the bend of this, or the rotation of this bone. So now what I can do here is I'm going to take this bone, I'm going to parent it together. Take this bone, parent it here. I'm going to hide this bone here. Move these guys back to their original position. I'm also going to hide these bones because I don't... Actually, I can't hide these bones. I need to make another bone shape. Let's go empty cube. Okay, and we're going to go BS cube, and we're just going to add these guys as their bone shapes. Okay, cool. Now we can put these back in without having issues. I'm also going to put this back position. Right, so everything is here. I really enjoy the content you share in live stream, showing a bit of behind the scenes of the animation, especially since I plan to switch to Blender myself. Oh, that's beautiful. I will be glad to help if you have any issues with Blender. But anyway, for now, watch this. If I hide this one, also you are not supposed to do this. Why are you doing this? Wait. You're supposed to follow the bendy bone. There we go. Now, much better. Okay, so notice now how we have two different things. We have this one, and we have this one. So we have the stretched version, which is this, and then we have the non-stretched version, which is this. And we can switch between this if we have a setting. Let's say I have, I'm just going to put a random bone here. We have a random bone. Okay. And so I want to say that if this bone is 2, right? If I scale this bone up to 2, this will be 1. Right? So currently it's this number. It's 1 over variable. I just wanted to plus, let's just give plus x some random thing. We're going to add input variable, going to call this x. We're going to give it to this specific bone. And we're going to look at the average scale in local space. Right, so currently it snaps all the way to 1. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to minus 1 here, so it's nothing. And now I can switch. Look at that. Now, of course, you can see that it's kind of moving a little bit, it's kind of bumpy, right? And the reason it's bumpy is because you don't have enough points. So all we need to do is go into our bendy bone settings, is increase number of points. Now watch this. Still kind of bendy, actually. Ooh, actually, we changed the scale of this. Does this matter? The scale of this doesn't matter at the moment, right? Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So that's irrelevant. Maybe if I add more segments to this as well. I'm also going to add a limit scale constraint here. Limit scale, we're going to set everything to 1. There we go. So now we have scale off and on. So here we can do this and watch this. It's not, it's not perfect, obviously. It could be better. But I think this is pretty good, all things considered. And then we can go all the way down. And now the cool thing about this is basically, this also happens to be the retraction feature that I want. Isn't that kind of cool? So the retraction feature was, I want to pose my bone somewhere like this, right? And then I want to be able to move it back downwards, which I can easily with this scale. And I can do the same thing with this bottom one. I just need another controller, like this. You moved all the way over there. Oh, you have a parent. Okay. No, you don't. Wait, why are you all the way over there? I moved you all the way over there. Makes sense. Right, we're gonna add another bone. I'm gonna go to this bottom one, and we're just gonna add another. We're gonna go to armature, bone properties. We're gonna go average scale, local space, and then we're gonna go minus 1. Currently, it's 0. So when I scale this, I now can retract it from the other side. It's kind of cool, though. So now we can retract it from this side. We can also retract it from this side. Perfect. Now the question is, can I do an extension feature? I don't know. The only thing I can think of is I have to move this forward. Right, but it's not very useful at the moment. So, let me think. What could possibly help here? Because extending it this way, again, I have no idea how to do that. I have absolutely no idea. So this extension feature has always been an issue. So we have to focus on how we make this, because SNS is not that difficult. Adding a tweak system might be a little problematic because I need the tweak system to also respect this. Right, so I need to make sure I get that. The role system is pretty straightforward. I'll explain it later. So, hello Math, welcome to the stream. Hope you had a great day. Today I am continuing with yesterday's stream on rigging. So we're making a limb rig as a custom commission for someone. And I've already done it, but I was very unsatisfied with my own work, so I'm going to do a bit of more research and design on making it even better. Right, so so this is the thing we need to do. I still have no idea how to do it though. So because of that, I'll put it in the back burner for now, and I'll focus on other things. I want to make sure that we have a tweak system that is working with this stretch and this retraction feature. That's very important. So we have the main controller here, and then we have the retraction feature here. If I set this to scale as 1, it's perfect. If I set this as 2, it'll go all the way there. If I set this to 0, it'll squash all the way to 0. Cool. Gplays asks, one question I have, mainly because of your animation style, is whether you prefer creating animations that are a bit more realistic or something slightly more cartoony, like anime or something similar. I imagine it depends a lot on the specific animation, but which do you prefer more? Yeah, it really depends on the animation, I guess, but sometimes a mix of both is nice, because realistic animation is much more straightforward to do realistic animation, because if I want to make something realistic, I can just record myself doing the action and then it's right there. But cartoon animation, when you got squiggly lines and stuff, it's a little more difficult and more abstract, and you'd have to find references online. And I find that looking for references in the internet become very difficult when you don't know where you're looking, right? So sometimes, obviously, my biggest inspiration is anime, because I can just go up to an anime, go to this episode where I know the big fight is, and I just use it as a reference. But if we're talking about cartoony animations, it's a little bit more difficult, because I generally do not watch slice of life stuff, right? So I would usually focus more towards realism, because it is easier to understand. Okay. Anyway, what was I thinking of again? Yeah, what's it called again? Tweak system, right? So just quickly show you guys how to do a tweak system. It's really straightforward. We're going to duplicate our bone, and I'm going to subdivide this so that we have this much cuts, right? Make sure I turn off the stretch to constraint, because it's in the wrong direction. Right, once we've done that, we're going to select. We're going to have to make sure these are not connected anymore. Select all the bottom bones. We're going to extrude upwards. And use well extrude upwards. I want to hide these bones for now because I don't see them. Take these bones, and we're going to change the road shape back to armature defined. We have to rename all of these as well. So I'm going to call this overall. Okay, is it going to be called tweak? And it's not going to be bendy bone, it's going to be the top specifically. This will be tweak mid top, because it's the top middle one. And then here we have mid bottom, or mid bot, and then finally we have. So these are going to be the actual tweak controllers that control this thing, right? So I'm going to make sure I go set this correctly. Tweak mid bot, mid bot. This is mid dot top, and this is mid. This is top, and this is mid top. Okay, so now when I move these, they all move perfectly. Cool. I have to make sure that this is not connected to anything. It's not connected to anything. Perfect. Move this back here. Okay, just make sure everything is fine. Yep. Okay, we're all good. Just gonna make sure all of them are. Ooh, here's the mistake. Mid top. Mid bot. There we go. And this as well. Maybe mid bot. It's going to be bot. Okay. Now we have our tweak controllers correctly assigned. I'm just going to add some things here. We'll Shift C, we're going to give it a stretch to constraint. We set this and then we set scale. You will aim at this bone. Okay, we don't need to abstract anymore. And we should reset this. And finally, we will look to this. G says, I think it depends a lot on the animation, but I feel like something more realistic or cinematic is the best way to go. Cinematic, perhaps. Cinematic, I don't really know. I can't imagine a cinematic animation style. The only thing I can think of is cartoons, realism, abstract. Right? Because cinematic is a feeling. It's not exactly an animation style. You get me? But yeah. Anyway, what we're gonna do next is just double check to see if everything works. It does work. This has to be parented to this though. Right? And then this has to be parented to this. Okay, everything works fine. We're gonna make sure we reduce the size of this, and we're also gonna turn off volume variation. I do not want any sort of bending that is caused from this. Okay, now that we have this, we need to map these onto our so alright, so we have the overall bendy bone. This is no longer the overall bendy bone because this is now considered the, what are you moving? Alt P to parent, and you should be paired to this. There we go. So let me just, there we go. So we have 3 bendy bones now, or 3 systems. We have the overall bendy bone, but this will be the main controller. We have the stretching bendy bone. This will determine whether we are stretched or not. It will also determine if we are doing this or not. Okay, and then we have the final system, which is the tweak system, which will be at the very bottom of the hierarchy, and this will actually control the mesh. Okay, so in order to use this, we need to add another buffer system to copy this transformation. A little annoying, but it's very possible. Alright, Gplay says, I agree with you. I think that sometimes the cartoon is something a bit of the ordinary or abstract, yes, as you described. Oh yeah, no, cartoon and abstract is I guess abstract animation is not something, it's more 2D, I guess. It's not really a 3D thing, so we can ignore abstract. So yeah, realistic animation obviously is based off of real life motion. You exaggerate a little bit, but you keep it extremely, not simple, but like similar to real life. There'll be a lot of subtle motion. Like when you're walking, you can see that you're not just moving your body, you're also like shifting your shoulders a little bit. Maybe your eyelids are also moving, and stuff like that. So that's what I would describe as realistic animation. And then there's like cartoony animation, usually much more sharp, much more simple, obviously characterized by a lot of squiggly lines. So like there's that. Extreme poses are possible in cartoons, but it's usually, you know, because of the way it's rigged and the way the model is done. Because it's hard to make a cartoony animation with a human rig. It's like, you know, the proportions don't really help you at all, right? So it really also depends on the style of the character you have, right? But yeah, I like doing cartoon as well. It's just I don't have enough. I definitely do not have enough experience with it. I will almost always do anime, and anime obviously their references are real life, especially like the bigger studios. And I usually watch drama, not drama, sorry, fantasy anime. So I usually just go with fights, and fights are usually not cartoony, right? They're realistic, but like, you know, a bit more pushed to the extreme. But they are mostly realistic as these choreograph. Right. So back to this, we need to add a bunch of bones here. So before we do that, let's start renaming things. Right. So we're gonna go call this the stretcher BB. So this is what will stretch the thingy. Right. So we have a stretcher now. So you have the stretcher. You have to make sure your overall buffer tail, overall buffer head, and then we're gonna have to duplicate all of these, and we're gonna call each of them their own buffer thing. Okay. So I'm gonna go like this, and I'm gonna call them. We're gonna remove TW, and we're gonna call them buffer TW. Or no, let's just call them tweak buffer. Let me just remove tweak. And then 002 we just replace with 001. There we go. So now we have the buffer bones. Make sure these buffer bones have the correct buffer bone shape, which is the sphere. The S sphere. Oh, that's the cube. S sphere. Right, make sure they're all teeny tiny. Okay. And they will be parented to, not parented, but they will be following this one. We're going to add a copy transform, turn it off first because I don't want everything to snap at once. Copy the stretcher BB, and we're going to make sure all of these, they all don't have it yet, so it's going to copy to selected. Okay, so this will obviously be 1, this will obviously be 0, this will be 1/3. Will be 2/3, and we just need to enable them, and they are now following here, which is perfect. In addition to that, I also want to make sure that all of these guys have a limit scale constraint, so we can't accidentally scale them. Actually, is that necessary? I don't know if that. I don't think that's necessary. I mean, no, it is definitely necessary. I think it's pretty important. When we arrive. One second, guys. I need to send these this message. Forward it to Mr. Copy this message and then send it to the other guy as well. Right. Back to YouTube. Oh, yes, I understand the point. Like, cool. Right. So once we have all of these, we're gonna add a limit scale constraint. Make sure all of these are 1. This, and then just copy everything here. Okay, so now we have this. I just need to make sure I parent these to this. Parent, and parent. Right. And then once we're done with that, move this back to its original position. Move this. Oh, before we do that, let's add a bunch of stuff here. I'm gonna call this buffer bone space, and then we're gonna call overall buffer. move this up. I'm going to call tweak buffer, and these will go into tweak buffer. And then we have these two. They will go, unhide them, okay? These guys will go to the overall buffer. I hide the overall buffer. And I need to make sure these go to here. Move this to a new collection. I'm going to call this the overall bendy bone. Okay, so I want to disable the overall bendy bone. Here we have the tweak bendy bone. Hide them. And then finally, here we have the stretch bendy bone. Okay, all of it has been properly listed. Now that we've listed it, we can go and enable everything just so we can see what's happening. It's back down. Okay, so here it is. We're gonna move you guys over here and then move you back over here. Now everything's in one position. We're gonna remove the overall bendy bone now. We're gonna remove the stretch bendy bone as well, and we're gonna focus only on the tweak bones. Actually, let's check the overall one again. Currently, this is how it works. This is the tweak. We can tweak it if we want to. All nice and good. And then if we want to make it so that this follows all the way up, we can stretch this, we can scale this bone. If we want to go the other direction, we can do this. And then we can make it like disappear at any moment in time as long as these things line up. Perfect. Okay. Now, let me try add a lattice here. We're going to add a lattice in between these two positions. We're going to add a lattice. Or actually, no, I can just select this and go lattice deform. Boom. So we have a lattice that'll deform this. I'm going to add a tiny bit of scale. Is that we have some boundaries. And I'm going to add a lot of stretching points. Like this. Okay. Now, let's put some markers. Like this. And the reason I do this is so I can see which parts of the rig are for which bones. I'm just gonna do this as well, just cause it looks better if I do this. Right, so I'm gonna hide the mesh. So here we have 3 sections. We have, I should probably name these properly, right? And also they're supposed to be overall turned into tweak. Okay, and so this one will be called tweak.plot. This will be called tweak.mid. And this will be top. Okay, once we're done with this, wait, I got confused. My bad. This is what we're looking for, right? Over here, I can see that. Oh, it's actually, oh yeah, because we scaled it, it's not perfect, right? You know what? No, I'm gonna scale it back down. It's original. 0.1. So scale it back down to its original length. I have the original length? I don't have the original length. This, right, so this is the original length because I want to make sure that these are all lined up perfectly. Okay, so now we need to add 1, 2, 3. This one is what? This one is id. Right, so simple enough. We know we can see where each of the influences are. So this is the bottom one. The bottom one will be there. And then the top one are these, or sorry, the middle one are these, and the top one are these. Top, and then we have these intermediary parts, which are both. So we're gonna put top and mid for this one. We're gonna put mid and bottom for this one. Hopefully this should smooth things out. Right, once we do that, we just go in and we add an armature modifier to this armature. Bada boom. Right, and if I were to just add a shape key, and we just scale this down. The reason I'm doing this is just so I can see it is really smooth. It is very, very smooth. And I'm just gonna... Right, so... Of course, the thicker the mesh is, the more it'll intersect with each other, which is as expected. So I'm not gonna cry about that. But shoot. Where does it go down? I'm so confused. Okay, so we just never touch that ever again. Okay. And now this works perfectly. This is exactly how I expect it to work. So, notice how we have a really smooth bend here. We have this is like picture perfect smooth, bro. Like, damn. And we can also move the tweak controls. Obviously, it's not a good idea to move the tweak controller when we have such a smooth bend here. We're going to move this outwards, and then we're going to try to tweak it. And we can. And it also works if we tweak it like this. Right. Now, one thing, though, I want it so that if I rotate this, this also rotates a little bit. So I'm going to add a copy rotation constraint. Where's the copy rotation constraint? Copy rotation, bottom. We're gonna copy this bottom rotation. We're only gonna copy the Y rotation. So only the Y-axis. It has to be local Y-axis. And also I want this to be only 2/3, I think. Right? And then over here we have the same one. And then this will be 1/3. And this will be 0. Now we have a nice twisting function. Really good. We can also twist this top part here. Doesn't twist very well, but we can twist it. If I remove this completely, I can twist this freely. The twist is not very nice. Okay. If I set this to 1, obviously it rotates the exact same, which is not good. Go back to 2/6. 2/3. Okay, the problem is when I twist this top part, I don't twist the bottom. Actually, that's a little annoying. Oh, but I can do this. I can duplicate this and have 2/3 follow the top. And this bottom one as well will have 1/3 follow the top. There we go. So now when I rotate this top part, I rotate there, and when I rotate this bottom part, I rotate there. I think this is pretty good. If I rotate the middle part, yeah, the middle part is not able to rotate like everything. But I think that's okay, because like it's unlikely that you're gonna rotate just the middle. But if I rotate this here, get that, which I think is fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, this twisting is as expected, I'd say. So let's re-enable this. I'm gonna move this part out, and I'm gonna give you a lattice modifier so that you follow. Oh, we already have lattice modifier. Nice. And we're just gonna add subdivisions to you after I add a bit of cuts. There we go. Oh, let's hide the lattice. Oh wait, before we hide the lattice, I need to make sure the lattice has tenure as its thing, so that all the deformations match exactly. Right, now when I twist it, look at it twist. It's twisting, guys. Okay, smooth. Very, very nice. Let's just check this. Very cool, very cool. It's working very nicely. Okay, and if I just disable the subdivision on the outside, it becomes much more accurate. And I can put this beforehand, actually. Simplify modifier, and the more I simplify, oh sorry, not simplify, the more I subdivide, the more accurate. This is much better. And I have tweak bones. Of course, I'm not gonna worry about this. Cool, so now we have a system. This one, right? We have a system that can stretch out. We have a system that can retract in both directions. Right, cool. We have a system that has a tweak controller. Next, let's try a roll system. Roll system is really easy to do. It's just I don't want to do it right at this moment. So let's not do that. Let's think about IK and FK. How are we going to do IK and FK bends? Ooh, I'm a little tired. Oh my goodness. Right. Okay, so the next question is, how do we do IK and FK bends? Now, one thing I can think of is this. We can have another bendy bone setup, because we're just gonna use bendy bones for everything now, yes? Let's take the overall bendy bone right here. We're gonna duplicate this, move this to the side. I'm gonna rename this from overall to FK, and I'm gonna just do this, right? So here, move 2, 0. Okay, everything is fine. Everything still works. So here's what I'm gonna, since this is an ARM, our FK controller will be at the top. Scale this a little bit so you can see it. So I want to make it so that when I rotate this controller, this one moves. So I'm gonna give this a parent. So we're gonna move like this. It's nice, but I want this controller to be notice how it's kind of following this. It's kind of like the wrist. I want it to, for now, always point tangent. So I'm gonna make this -1 easy. Cool, this is perfect. But I want to make this go like this if possible. And to do that, I need to increase the ease out factor. So we're going to change this to 1. So here is now, this is our FK. This is going to be our FK bends. If I decide to set this to 0, so it follows this, I can also change the wrist, which is a little bit, okay, it's kind of nice. I guess it's like, it's okay. I can also move this down here. This is not bad either. If I set this to 2, what does it look like? It looks like that. Okay, I think I should just... There we go. So perfectly here. Are these characters you create your own original designs, or are they something that already exists? Already, I really don't know. If you're talking about the one I'm making right now, this is a commission, not my design. It's also not my, well, technically it is my rig, but like this is a custom made rig for someone else, so I'm doing a commission right now. But if you're talking about like my other characters, I'll show you an example, I guess. It's a good example. I guess we'll just show soup. Project characters, CH rig, nope. Actually, element, laptop, characters, character presets, and then let's go. Right, so these are my original characters that I made. Oh, you can't see the first version, but yeah, these are my characters for my story. I'll show you where's the origin final. Casual, Omega, Delta, Eve, not that one. There we go, origin. Oh, I just don't have the textures. Great, so I have to find out what those textures are. You have the casual one. Here's another one I did. This one was for a tutorial. So these are my characters. There's others. Let's check out. What other ones can I show? Talent. There's another one that is made for my story. Here, another one. Then another one. Oh yeah, these are my characters. If you ever see these guys, these are my characters. I made them myself. And then there are other ones that are based off of other people's characters. So we have specifically, what's her name again? Social. This one is from a friend of mine's. Right? They are now in my story, so they're technically my character, but this is originally from someone else. I also do sometimes make other people's characters just as a commission. So here's a friend of mine, made his character. I also mix characters from series. So here's Petra from ReZero. This is her outfit from like further into the story. You won't see this in the anime. It's Petra from ReZero. It's the positions properly. Okay. Petra from ReZero. I also have a few Genshin characters. Specifically, I have Hu Tao here, and I have recently I had a collaboration with a friend of mine, and we made Ayaka on stream. But here's Ayaka. It's not finished yet, right? But I also have Ayaka. Specifically her skin outfit. Then anyway, yeah, so these are my characters. It's also my custom rig. The one I'm working on right now is not. So here we have 90 degrees negative. I don't like how this kind of goes up. He's in negative 1. There we go. I like the character from your intro number 29. I don't know if it's a design something, but I like. Okay, number 29. Which one is that one? TM Ladder intro 29. Oh, it's Nara. Yeah, that's Nara. Let me. Guess I'll show a different version. Like, do we still have that version of Nara? That was this one. I've changed the character to. I've changed the outfit, right? So it's this one. This is Nara on my new design. I'm just going to make sure that is the one you're talking about, right? Intro number 29. I don't see any other intro 29s because I don't think I made that much intros. Okay, so I'll show you the original Nara, I guess. Characters, 4.2. I have a kimono version. Bender 4.0. Nara. I have a kimono version that I remembered making a long time ago. This was... Did I make... I don't think I made the skin. I think I had help from a friend to make this. And then I have where is the episode 1 characters? No, I need like... I don't have it. Shoot. I have a younger version of Nara as well. This is for... Oh, the hair is wrong. There we go. This was for my... this is for the Withering. So in episode 1. But yeah. I don't think I made the skin. I think it was Neo who made the skin. Is it? I don't remember actually. I think it might have been Neo who made the skin. Can't find the exact one where I made that intro from, but yeah. This is the current iteration is this. A bit messy actually. Turn off, simplify. There we go, much cleaner. Right, back we go to test libs. Right, so here's the FK. This will be the FK system. I'm probably not going to be using a wash and stretch for an FK system. So here we have this, and I I really want to be able to change the wrist, but that would mean I would need an extra thing, which is really annoying. I have an issue. I have a solution. So this will be our FK system. So I'm gonna just move it. Oops, don't nerf. Move it to FK bendy bone. So now here, we're going to duplicate this as well, put it up, and so this will be parented to this. This will also be parented to this. So now we have FK system. Look at that. FK arms. Perfect. Anyway, so how do I switch the IK arms to the FK arms? Is the question you all might be asking. Let's find out. So we have the stretch bone here, and we know that the stretch bones are following this overall buffer. So they're following these bones. What I can do is actually just duplicate the copy transform constraint, and then I make sure this, instead of going to arm.overall buffer, I go to FK. And I do the same thing here, duplicate, and then I go to FK. So now, if I just copy this as a driver, paste it onto this, what I can do is I can switch between the two. So here I have an FK system. I go in here. There we go. It's not perfect, obviously, but it's like really, really close. Okay, I also have to make sure this has the limit constraint. Good. There we go. So I'm going to remove this. So now we have FK. And in addition to this, the tweak bones, which are all the way down here, still work. So if I want to make the wrist move specifically, I can do that. Well, no, I can't do that, but you know, you get what I mean. I need to find a way to move this bone. It's gonna be very difficult to get tweak control here, but I think that can be done later. I'll talk to later. That's really cool. I find the character style you've adopted interesting. You model from them in Blender, or do you use other programs like Blockbench? I model everything in Blender because I really like Blender shortcuts, but I do texture them in Blockbench because I feel like Blockbench is much more precise when it comes to pixel art. Blender is a little difficult. It's a little wonky because of brush sizes, but in Blockbench, each pixel is a pixel, so you don't have any bleeding of texture, which is really nice. But yeah, I modeled them in Blender itself. I got inspired by a Chinese modeler. What's her name? Let me grab their name for you. Where is the server? I think you're in the server, right? You are in the server, I think. Profile. Yeah, yes, it's you're in the servers. I don't know how to say his name, but he's the admin. Wait, NGUN Guyen Dev. I'm just gonna say his name is Guyen Dev. So I'm assuming if since you're in the server, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But he made a model of a character from VR chat. I forgot her name. Kipfel, something like that. And she actually made it downloadable. Sorry, not downloadable, but like I have to pay to download it. But it was $5, so I bought it. And he gave me the Blockbench file, and that's what I used to learn exactly what I needed to. So yeah. Now let us go and check stretch bone. So here's the thing. The additional thing is when I'm using this stretch bone in FK, I have to lock the ease to -1. It's just I have to do that. Do I have to do that? What's the thing here? Yeah, I have to lock it to -1 and ease out must be 1. So that's a bit of an issue. So I have to somehow make it so that this bone follows the settings here. Because this is the perfect settings for that. Anyway, I think this is fine though. Other things will do. The style is very similar to Yesti's model. Yeah, it is. It is exactly based off of those guys' models. Yeah. YSM. Okay, I also have volume variation, which is very annoying. I'm gonna turn that off. Okay, actually, I'm quite curious. Can I record a video while I'm streaming? But no. Anyway, so here we have FK and IK. Switch FK to IK. Nice, we're getting closer and closer. Squash and stretch and a roll system. Squash and stretch is already kind of in this thing. I just need to add a lattice to control it. And then the roll system is a little bit annoying. I have to actually do it. But once I do it, it's pretty simple. And the nice thing here is everything is contained. Oh, I'm a little tired. Everything here is contained into the rig itself, so nothing requires a outside object, because last time I required an outside object to do some of the scaling. Right now it's all good. Right, so I want to try something. Move this all fine and dandy. Again, not being able to do like the tweaks on here is a little annoying. Actually very annoying. Oh wait, if I move this out, then I turn on the tweak controllers, I think it's much more useful. Not you. Okay, but then having this be controlled by something is a little difficult because you have to be controlled by the bendy bone. Sorry, no, not the bendy bone. You're controlled by arm tweak buffered bottom. I want to enable wrist, I have to make it so that you get controlled by something else. This, right? A little annoying. If I pose this here, and if it's like this, if I go linear, yeah, so one way we can do this is just to animate frame by frame. I still have the music on. It's off. That's not fair. There are PNGs available for your Nera intro. Do you think it's silly to? Oh, 100%. If you want, sure. Let me just. If you check in the description of the stream, you should see the link to my Discord server, and you can get it from there. All of my old duels that how we make this, all of my old duels should be there. So I also have a Discord server. Just click on this Discord server. Yeah, so just go to my Discord server, and then you can scroll all the way to files. Go to files and then scroll up. Eventually you will find what was it called? I can keep on scrolling up here. I'm gonna find it for you. Final draft, that's Nivan. Nera, there we go. Copy message link. I'll send this to you so you can download it yourself. But here you go. I sent it to you on Discord. So just join my server and then you can just download it from there. All of it is there. Okay. So it's actually pretty good, I will say. And I can still scale this really well. Okay, let's move on. There's no point in having an FK roll system for this, I think, so we should be good. Right, we should be fine here. Again, the main issue I have is this extension feature. This extension feature is really bugging me. I still do not know how to do this extension feature. Besides manually extending it, right? It's the only way. We have an extending feature. Oh yeah, we have to just manually extend it. Wish we could just extend this outwards. We could extend it this way, right? We just need the creep bones. It's not that big of a deal. I'm going to rotate this. That's with FK though. Alright, let's go into our overall buffer and we switch this back to... Oh, now we're back to IK. Turn off the FK bendy bone. Overall in, turn off stretch. Here we have this. Oh, hello entertainer, welcome to the stream. I'm continuing work indeed, and I have made a breakthrough. I have finally found something that is, well, I'm not saying that the original one was bad, but the original one in my vision was incomplete because I promised something else and I gave him something meh, in my opinion. He was okay with it, but I did not like it. So right now, we have something even better. Let me show it to you. Where is... I need to make sure I turn this off because it's not supposed to happen. 0, 0. Right, so watch this. Here's what we need. We need a bend that's smooth. An extension feature I still do not have currently, so that's the problem. A retraction feature, something I have right now. Tweak system I have. Swash and stretch is easy, so I have it. Roll system is easy, but I haven't put it yet. Switch to FK and IK. Stretch must be able to turn off and on, and FK and IK must be separate. I have all of these features all in one rig. So here, we have many bendy mode systems. So here currently we have stretch off, right? If I want to turn the stretch on, all I gotta do is scale this bone. I scale this bone up, and I have stretch enabled, right? And the fun thing here is I can actually change where exactly stretch gets enabled to. Right, so default is over here. This is like the original length of the limb. I can make it shorter, and it still works. I can make it longer, and it still works. And I can also make it disappear from the back. So this works. So this is really cool. Right, in addition to all of this, I have the tweak system as well. Turn off the stretch, turn off the overall. Let's hide the bendy bones. I have the tweak system as well. Let's turn this one back on. Let's make it stretch outwards. And watch as I stretch the bad boy around. And all these are bendy bones. And we can switch this to FK by going to the buffer, tweak buffer, not tweak buffer, the overall buffer. We'll drive this in later, but boom. So now we switched it to the FK mode. And we have FK. But in FK though, I do need to make sure that this has a certain ease. Right, so this is the ease you have to do for FK. And the FK also has an IK controller because it's a bendy bone. But you can't control the wrist because it's controlled by this. The wrist is the main issue, but I think the wrist is it's a slight issue, and I don't think it's that big of an issue, especially in FK. In FK, you don't really care about that stuff. And then you'll still have your cheek controllers, so if he wants to control the wrist, he can control the wrist. I'm going to tell him you could have to control it manually like this. I think is more than... it's acceptable, you know? Right, so I would do this, and then if it doesn't work with arcs, you just, you know, do frame-by-frame animation, and it works. But this is really good. The only issue here is I don't have the extension feature, which is where I go like this. I don't have that, and I cannot fucking figure out a way to do that. And I think it's just a limitation because the way I did it before was I had a spline. I had a spline ring right this, right? And then at the very end of the spline ring, I had 2 points right here. So that if I want to extend it, I just need to scale this point, which is a parent to this point. So when I scale this handle, it kind of shoots off like this. So no matter what the curve is, if I scale this point, we just keep on going. Right? But that's not possible here. Well, technically it is possible, but it becomes really difficult if I want to switch between FK and IK. The system so beef makes Rigger cry. Yeah, it took 2 months of, you know, of figuring out, but I think I finally figured it out. Oh, if I can get this extension feature, I have everything is done. I just need to put it in the rig and then I can say goodbye. It's just no longer any bugs here, because the original ones had bugs where when I rotated the limb, it wasn't like, you know, perfect and all. And also there's like so much bones here and there, and you had to turn on so much settings. You know, it was really annoying. But with this system, it would be so simple. I literally did this from scratch at the start of the stream. So it took like, you know, an hour to make. So I can probably finish this in 2 days if I just figure out how to do the extension feature. So yeah, that's what we're currently doing right now. Alright, so I'm gonna switch this back. Here. Okay, so we're back here. I could technically do the extension feature, but I need to add an extra bendy bone, which is really annoying. I can do it, is the thing. The thing is, I can do it if I want to. Well, then I hope you can finish it. I hope so too, man. I really want to finish this because I can't work after... Or during August, it's going to be a really difficult time for me to work because I'm going to start moving stuff around. Because I finally got my court date because I need the hearing for the judge to notify them of my father's passing. So that's on the 29th of July. It was supposed to be on the 14th of July, but it's a cruel turn of fate where the king's father also passed away. And that meant the whole country had a 4-day mourning period. So I couldn't notify them of my father's passing. And I was like, well, this kind of sucks. So we were in limbo for a bit, and then they rescheduled it to 29th. So after the 29th, I'm basically... Well, we need to do a bit of other things, but once the 29th is finished, I can start doing other things. I can like pack up my stuff because I'm going back to Canada. So it's going to be really hectic. And so I have to finish this before August. So I kind of want to just like move it forward, right? I just ordered a guitar online and we want to start a new hobby. Ooh. Oh, and also Gplay joined the thing. Nice. Hope you enjoy your stay, Gplay. I don't really update too much because my series is currently on pause while I work on other things. But I'll be uploading more behind the scenes later when I start. Anyway, a guitar is nice because my younger brother actually plays the guitar really well too. I didn't know he started playing guitar until he came back home from Indonesia, and he can rock. So I think it's a really good, it's a nice thing to have. A lot of my parents can also play the guitar. I don't really play the guitar. I'm an amateur, you know. So I try not to overthink. I would just be focused on what I want to play. Yeah, that's good. Really good. Okay, let's think. How am I gonna do this? Because I really don't know of a way I could do this, right? One thing, right? This is one thing I can think of. When I go back to my tweak bones. Let's say we have 4 tweak bones here. What if I were to add another tweak controller right here? I could add another. I would have to add another buffer bone, and then I could use that to scale this one at the edge a certain distance. But then that would mean this would have to be parented, which might interfere with the retraction system. Anyway, I gotta go have a great stream. Thank you very much, Entertainer, for dropping by. Hope you have a great day, sir. See you. Hey, bro. I have another question also. Based on your style, what frame rates do you usually think is best for that? Shocked. What's the best frame rate for animation? I would say really it depends on your style. 60 FPS looks kind of good. 30 FPS is, what a lot of people use. I use 24 FPS because that's film standard. And it's really nice because the lower the FPS, the more frame by frame animation becomes, what's the word I'm looking for? The lower your frame rate, the more easier it is to do frame by frame animation because you have less frames to do. And I quite enjoy doing frame by frame animation. So I try to stick to 24. And I also animate on 2s. So sometimes I would technically go down to 12 FPS. Right? But really, it just depends on you, how you want to, it's like your style of animation, your target audience. If you're like, if you're in the gaming industry, right, and you do game animations, you likely will be animating at 60 FPS or maybe even more. Because games are almost always streamed on high FPS, 60, 120, people with 144 hertz, stuff like that. So yeah, it really depends on which industry you're in. In the film industry, we do 24, so 24 is good for me. Okay, so here's one thing I can think of, right? Ooh, I have a devious damn plan, guys. Wait, I think I might be cooking here. Who said I have to use bones? I have a lattice that can go like this. GZ1, GZ.1. Yeah, oh, I might be cooking here. GZ -1. But 1. Oh, guys, I might be Gordon Ramsay right now. Watch this. Oh wait, but then this is the same thing as don't have texture stretching. No. I'm an idiot. I have an even better idea. Oh no, it doesn't work because of the things. Oh, hello, Prism. Good morning. How are you doing, sir? I'm doing great. I'm having eureka moments, but I'm still having one small issue. I'll tell you about the issue, right? So I currently have this rig. I'm recreating. I already made the rig, but I didn't like it, so I made it again. This was a continuation from yesterday, right? So I've added more things I needed from the rig. Just add a new one. Right, so currently we have a bendy bone that is able to make smooth bends. It has a retraction feature. It has a tweak system. This is coming soon. It's able to switch between FK and IK. FK and IK are separate systems, so they don't affect each other, and I can turn off the stretch if I want to. So I'll just show you all those features. This is the overall bendy bone. I can make sure it... This is the overall, yeah, this is the overall. So I can make it stretch on or off. So here's stretch off. This is stretch on. I can also stretch off it at any point in the curve. Right, so if I want to make it here, I can stretch it off here. Right, and in addition to that, I can also retract it like this. Nice and easy. Doesn't look good now because I forgot to do this. Let me just change the easing. 0, 0. There we go. Much better. Right, so now when I scale it down, it much more closely follows the thing. And anyway, this is what I have. Now the issue here, Prismarine, is I'm trying to make an extension. Now what I thought was, oh, let me just do this. Right, so I have this extension feature, so I can just extend it like this. The problem is, if you go here and you look at the textures, it doesn't stretch the textures, which is a very, very big problem. Yeah, that's a really big problem. So I can't think of a way to stretch the texture as well, Do you have any idea of how I could do this? Because that's the only thing that's problematic with this rig. If I'm able to do that, this rig is perfect. This is exactly what the client needs. I can't get it to work at the moment. Because I can't get it to work, I'm gonna focus on other things right now. I'm just gonna move you back to here. Turn off FK so we don't have to worry about FK. Turn off the stretch bendy bone. Turn off this overall bendy bone. Okay. Yeah. Other than that, everything is working pretty good. I quite like this. And to think, yeah, go for it. I've been thinking for 2 hours on how to do this, and I can't figure it out. So. Make like not only the top part stretch, like to make all cuts follow the top part. Okay, right. So that's something like this, right? So we're gonna take this, and instead of scaling just the top part, we're gonna use the second key. I'm gonna put my in here, and what Prismarine is saying, we do this, right? That's what you're saying. Now the issue with this, actually, you know what? Let's see. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm stupid. And Prismarine has the absolute insane idea. Yeah. So here's the issue. This happens because each of these are parented to different tweak bones, right? To different tweak bones for different things. And these don't follow the curve completely. Right, so that's the issue with just scaling everything. I have to make this follow here. Don't know how, you know, that's the main issue. I don't know how to do that. I can like do it manually, but even this doesn't stretch it properly, right? Because I have to stretch this as well. This, right? And then without bigger curves, it's really impossible. So here's the thing. Here's a really interesting thing: is that this is the okay. Assume let's say this is the normal position, right? This is what I'm looking for, but that would require me to have a larger curve on top of this, which to me makes no sense. Wait. Yeah, no, I can't think of a reason, man. Can't think of a way. You can use lattice? How so? Because I'm currently using a lattice, and it's not really working out the way I'm expecting it to. Because even if I scale this up, let's say I scale this up, yeah, it doesn't really work the way I need it to be, right? Because I was using lattice there to like increase the, you know, this thing. But again, it doesn't work because the lattice itself has different, you know, stages. It's annoying part. Wait. You gave me an idea. Wait, Brisbane, I have an idea. I have a crazy idea. What if I add another lattice? That's deform. So I have two lattices now. I'm gonna hide the mesh, right? So what we're gonna do here, Brisbane, watch this. We're gonna scale, duplicate, scale this like this, so it's halfway maybe. No, let's just make it full. Right. So here we're gonna make sure it's the same. So we're gonna have 22. Oops, that's F2. Right. We're gonna have 22 cuts. So here, am I crazy or am I crazy? I'm gonna add a shape key and I'm going to scale it here. Okay. Let me cook. We're gonna add a lattice modifier to this lattice so it follows the original lattice So watch this. So we have this now. Okay, I'm gonna move this back. I'm gonna hide this lattice. I'm gonna move this to its original position. Now watch this, watch this. If I scale this lattice, oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I was so close. I was so close to it. Can I do something else? Can I try this? Can I, if I turn on outside, does this work? Please tell me this works. This would be so crazy. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. I was so close too. I thought I could do it. I really thought this would work. But if it's outside the lattice, it doesn't work. That's hilarious. You don't need lattice modifier? How so? What do I need? You know, I'm also gonna send this to you just if you want to tinker with it yourself. There is Prismarine. It's like a cosmetic lattice. I see. Right. I'm not exactly sure how that works. I'm gonna send you the file and maybe you can like show me an example. You can use modifier layers on. You can use modifier layer on. Okay. While we wait for that, I'm just gonna send you the thing so you can show me, and then I'll type that myself as well. So you can use the modifier layers on object. I don't actually know what that is. I am assuming you mean. Oh, what's happening here? Whoa, 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 whoa. On 70 mesh. Modifier layers. I'm not sure what modifier layers means. I'll figure that out. I really feel like this is the way. Now, if there is a way for me to extend the lattice outwards, like we're so close. We're so close. Let me just search up actually. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Can lattice blender how to affect mesh outside lattice? How to extrapolate lattices? How to extrapolate lattice deformation? Deformation blender. Tell me. This is what I need to know. Alright, so if I read this, so we have lattice, or commonly called deformation cage. A lattice consists of three-dimensional, non-renderable grid of vertices. Its main use is to apply a deformation to an object it controls with a lattice modifier. If the object is parented with a lattice deform, a lattice modifier is automatically applied. Okay. The lattice should be scaled and moved to fit around your object. I got something. Wait. This is gonna be an idea. Okay, so I'm gonna call this original lattice. Duplicate to the side. Alright, so this will be the OG. And then we're gonna work on this. No, think about it this way. Think about it this way. If you need your lattice to go outwards, why not just add more lattice points outwards, right? So here, so I go here, scale this to maybe this much, right? And then I have to remove all the vertex groups. I have to remove the. Oh, that's annoying. I apply this as the base. Really annoying. Lattice deform selected. You make first and after deform lattice will deform it. Okay, I can see a lot of issues with that though, so I'll let you try make that first because I don't understand how to do it. 22 instead of 22 to 20, we go 44. No, 22. No, we need to make it so that it There we go. 41 is good. So I'm cooking. I am definitely cooking here, because when we do it this way, now we have an outside, right? Now we have an outside. And because we have an outside, if I'm just gonna reset the things here. So, oh wait, we don't have a middle part here. I have to make sure I have a middle part. Because I am cooking, I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my bones that I'm cooking. Is it this one? Oh. Okay, so here's the thing. I want to make it so that we have 1 point here and 1 point here as well. Yeah. 13 works. So if I just do 13 times 2. 13 times 2 does not work. Are you gonna line up eventually? There we go. 37. 37 works. Okay, 37 works. Okay, now all I gotta do is add 1, 2, 3 vertex groups. Here. Add. Boom, boom, boom. This will be bot. This will be it. Okay, okay. And then go here, select all the one on the top. This is going to be top. This will be mid. And then all of this will be bottom. And these will be 0.5, 0.5. Like bot, 0.5 mid. So also be 0.5 mid, 0.5 top. Okay. Wait. Armature modifier. Modify armature here. There's me, I think I might have done it. Watch this. Oh shoot, we have an issue here. Oop. Okay, so notice that if I put a lattice modifier on this lattice over here, hide this one. Now when I move this lattice, it's all good, all fine and dandy. When I scale this lattice, it extends. I think I got it. I think I got it. Wait, I think I might have got it, bro. It looks kind of shit though, so I'm gonna remove this maybe? Yeah, I'm gonna remove this lattice. Take this lattice instead. The problem is this lattice has... Oh wait, no, it's still B-spline, I forgot. Alright. Linear, linear, linear. Okay, now we just go to the main mesh. I just realized we needed the original lattice. 1 second. Let me get the original lattice back in. Okay, here's the original lattice. Hide this mesh and then just make you linear. Linear, hide you, and now I did it. I fucking did it. I am a genius. I am Team Leonard. Okay. Job done, no? Oh, the problem is I can't go too far, right? So I need to ask a question to my client. I'm at the works with a brand new system which solves a lot of issues. Just need one question answered. How far on the extension system go? No, I should not ask that yet. I need to first think of a way to extend this myself. Because here, ooh, I have another idea. Oh, I have so much ideas right now. So watch this, right? So currently we have an issue where this can only go so far, because if I were to bend the bone like this, right? We bend it and move this back to default position. If I bend this bone like this, it can only go so far, right? But if I were to go here, can I not just Not from there, from here. Can I not? Scale this up. I'm back with my PC. Welcome back, Chris. I think I found a solution. I found a great solution. Okay, so if I do this works, right? Okay, so Chris, watch this fucking 5-head play. So what I did was I made a new lattice that's just bigger than the original thing. So now it's this big, and when I rotate it, oh, it still does this thing, right? But I have another lattice. Now this other lattice, if I were just to make sure that this follows this lattice, I'm gonna disable this lattice, move it this lattice. So this is fine, right? This is all completely normal. But now I have this setting. The only problem is there's like a limit, so it hits the wall and it stops. But this is something I can do. And then in addition to this, to make this go even further beyond, this lattice will also have a shape key to further push it forward. Am I not a fucking genius? Am I not a fucking genius, bro? Oh, I feel so great. This feels so amazing. Now, here's something I'm gonna do. I'm gonna copy this as a driver. I want to see if this works. I don't think this will work, but no point in not trying. Paste this driver. So I'm gonna unhide it. And so if I move this up, oh, it's beautiful. Okay, there we go, up to 1. And I just need to make sure that this, this doesn't go that high. Actually, wait, I want to see what actually happened here. It moves the whole thing, right? Cool. Just lower it. A little bit lower, a little bit lower. Tiny bit lower. Okay. Paste this again. And we've done it. I did it. I am so happy. Oh my god, bro. Oh, this is why Blender is great. Oh my god. All right, cool. So I found a way to do it. I can't believe I actually found a way to do it. And it's so it's relatively smooth. If I add a subdivision modifier here, subdivision surface, it's really, really smooth if you look at it. Look at that, wow. I should have to do it for the other side too. Oh, I just celebrate, you know? One smart man said, there is no good and evil, there is only Blender and those too weak to seek it. True. True. I am Blender. Thank you, Patient, for the inspiring advice. In those conversation Blenderings, I just stay quiet. Don't worry, you'll get it eventually. I actually have a tutorial on how to create a character in Blender, and it has a rigging portion. So if you wanna look at that, you might understand rigging. Could I remake that with a better mic? Because I have a better mic now, so I might honestly remake that. Oh, this Eureka moment is so good, bro. Okay, so yeah, we got it. Now all that's left is squash and stretch and the roll system, which I can easily do. Yeah, the rigs for something like additional skill for us. Yeah, rigging. Even if you're an animator, knowing how to rig is very, very useful. Because if you know how to rig, you can add, and I'm not saying like really good rigging, if you know a little bit of rigging, you can edit things to help you in your animations, right? Having a little bit of animation skills, sorry, a bit of rigging skills will make your animation, will make it easier to animate, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. It'll be easier to animate when you have rigging skills, because there's a lot of things you don't realize as an animator. Like using, like for example, using constraints and weight paint. It's very useful. It's not that hard to learn. Yeah, I mean, as long as you're passionate about it, anything can happen. I've been trying to figure out a solution to that for months, guys, and I finally did it. This shit felt so good. I felt amazing to find a solution. Okay, it seems like we can't push it too far, because if you push it too far, it goes like this. But yeah, it's not that bad though. I'm okay with it. I don't know much about it, but I really admire it, and I'm sure all of these kinds of live streams help me out when I'm starting to clean off. Of course, I'll always be here when you guys need questions to be answered. Don't worry about it. Okay, now that we have that done, I feel so great, man. This stream was worthwhile. Oh my god. Thank you, Prismarine, for inspiring me, because you said the word lattice and then instantly my head was working. If you didn't say lattice, I would have just given up and told them, like, hey man, I don't think this is possible. And then I would have been really sad. But now I'm not sad. I'm actually very, very happy, because there's a lot of things I can do now. Right, so I'll teach you guys how to do a roll system. Now that I'm feeling like it. Also, I just noticed how small this hand is. This is extremely small. Let me just increase the scale, decrease the scale to 0.1 so we can, there we go, much better. I think it would be nice if I make rigging tutorials, but my English is too bad. No, I think your English is fine. Your English is fine. It's like, you know, sometimes when you have to speak a little slowly, but in a tutorial, that's fine, because you can just write a script. So you can just read from the script and you'll be fine. I think your English is more than good enough, because a lot of the vocabulary that you don't know is mostly conversational vocabulary, you know? And it's not, that's if you're doing like a technical job, like a tutorial, you don't need to know, you know, that vocabulary. All you need to know is bone, you know, rig, and you already know those because you learned Blender. That's what, your Blender vocabulary is really good, so you can totally make a rig tutorial. Okay. I'm getting sidetracked. I completely forgot what I was going to do. Okay, wait. Let me add a roll system. Okay, we have a roll system. Make sure I go into edge, not edge, vertex, right? So we're just gonna snap these at these vertices. I noticed that you're snapping at random places, probably because we have a subdivision modifier, which I have to delete. Right, delete the subdivision modifier so that when we snap, we can only snap to a few places at once. Is there a line here? There is a big cube. Let's remove that. Okay, one there. Duplicate, move this here, move this here, duplicate, move this here, move this here, duplicate, move this here, move this here. Okay, so we have our roll bones. I'm gonna need this Alt-R to clear the roll on them. Right, and this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna take the overall one. Where's the overall? Overall bendy bone is right there. So we're gonna take this overall bendy bone. We're gonna parent it to this front one. This front one will be parented to the one on the side. This will be parented to the one on this side, and this one will be parented to the one on this side. So what's gonna happen here is this. This is what we want. In addition to that, we also need one more bone. And this will be the main controller for all of the rolling. So this will control the roll. And we're going to use a transformation constraint. So all of these will have a transformation constraint. Right? They're all going to point towards this bone specifically. Topic selected. I'm going to call this the foot wrist roller. Dot L. I've decided to name this dot L. Okay, and so let's start with this one, right? So when I roll backwards, which is negative, let me make sure I'm in local view. So when I roll this in the Z direction backwards, so that's 0 to negative 90, this has to roll the same way. So we're gonna map from rotation. I have to make sure this is the same rotation. We have to rotate this on the y-axis, right? So we have to rotate from the y-axis from 0 to 90. So y-axis 0, maximum 90. It's gonna be targeting the z-axis of the original one. And we're gonna go from negative 9, so from 0 to negative 90. Oh, wrong. It's not that. We have to go from negative 90 to 0. Wrong as well. I might have to switch this up. 90 to 0. There we go. So when I rotate this backwards, that's weird. Let's do this. Local space, local space. There we go. Much better. So there we go. Next, we're gonna do the x. Positive x, negative x. Here we have y. All of them is y. Yeah. So here we have positive y. So we're gonna go rotation, rotation. Positive y is 90. Positive y here is 90. Oh, sorry, it's not. It's x, positive x. So we just change from y to x. Ooh. Oh yeah, and also I forgot to change this from local to local. Both of these also have to go to local space. Oh, so do you make any kind of animated series with your characters, or do you just post varied content featuring them? You should check out my channel and look at the Withering series. So I'm just gonna quickly hop into my own stream and paste the YouTube link in case you can see it. Withering series, copy. I'll just drop it in the chat. Well, it takes a while to open up chat, so wait a little bit. Right. So paste the playlist here so you can watch. There we go. Now you can watch the series with all the characters. The first two in the series are like shorts. Not when I say shorts, they're like not trailers, but like, you know, the sneak peeks on or prequels of the actual story. And then episode 1, part 1, episode 1, part 2, part 3. Those are the actual. That's the actual story. And then part 4 is still being made, so it'll take a while for that to come out. Rotation. So this is going to be negative 90. The x, negative 90 y, source x though. So when we rotate back here works. Rotate over here works. Rotate over here does not work yet because you don't have the transformation constraint. And then this one is just the opposite of this. Z positive becomes 90 on this, I think. It's negative 90 on this. Z. Wrong direction. It's positive 90. There we go. This one's not done yet. Negative 90 on the x-axis. Positive 90, not negative 90. Just tell me so I can help you with it. I don't want to do it on... I will let you know. I'll let you know when we start. You can... What do you want to do? Animation? Or you want to do other things? You want to do world building? You can do world building too. I don't mind. What's happening here? This is wrong. Oh, this is wrong. It's because it's locked into 90. It's not supposed to be locked into 90. Minimum negative 90 here. There we go. Okay, so now we have the foot roll, and this is how it works. So this will always touch the ground. Really cool. Anything? I think cool. I'll let you know. I'll probably start the animating for the withering again in September. So I guess for now, I'll focus on making the storyboards because I don't usually do storyboards unless someone is working with me. So yeah. Okay. So we have the roll system done, and now I just need a rigid roll system. Rigid roll system is the system where this follows this. So the way we do that is I need to make sure this has a child of constraint, specifically this bone. Ooh. Now we have a rigid roll constraint, and then if I don't want it, I just disable this. It's controlled on its own. Okay, and the squash and stretch is very important. For squash and stretch, we will be using the base lattice, so not this one, this one. Oh no, we need another lattice, my bad. I'm just going to add another lattice deformation. I'm going to call this squash, stretch, squash, SNS lattice. Call this the SNS lattice, and we're going to go in here. We're going to specifically look at the stretch bendy bone. Right. I'm going to duplicate, move it to the side, and I'm going to disable the bendy bone option. Parameter defined. We're also going to turn off the data track. I'm just going to give it a copy scale, and it's going to copy the stretch bendy bone scale, and I want it to only copy the XZ component scale. Down, put you on the center again. Move this side for now so I can see it. Okay, so now when I stretch this bone, so I just turn on volume variation, it stretches this bone, and what I need is I need this to be parented specifically. This is going to be like this is on. It's going to call SNS scale. So here, I'm just going to add a vertex group, boom, and then make sure it's set to 1, and you are also parented to the armature deform. Okay, and let's make sure to put it back. And then now we have squash and stretch. All we need to do is make sure you are affected by it. And just make sure this is linear. And we now officially have squash and stretch. The important thing is you have to be before everything else. This is the most important part. I need to make sure I name it properly as well. S and S. This is not useful. This is the bend. Squash and stretch. Much better. There we go. I won't lie, the visuals and animation you produce are impeccable. How Netflix letting someone like you slip away? Thanks for it, but I still think I could do much better than this. When I watched it, I was like, it's cool, but it's not what I envisioned exactly. So hopefully the next few episodes will be, the next parts will be much better. I'll have Prismarine helping me. But yeah. Wait, Prismarine, since you want to help me do the animation, could you, in the next month, could you make a test animation of you doing something so I can get a gauge of your skill, so I can, because I'm assuming you want to help out with making the animation. I want to know your skill and animation, because I've only seen like one animation from you. So send me, like, try to make an animation this month or next month. Send it to me so I can find out what level you're at, and then I can help you improve, and then I'll give you jobs depending on your skill level. Like, there's no point in making you animate a whole episode, because, you know, if you're not ready for that, it's kind of stupid. But yeah. Okay. Squash and stretch, done. Aha. Okay, I have everything I need. Thing is, right, I need to make sure, like absolutely sure, that the squash and stretch does not get affected by this. Okay, now we're in FK mode. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. That's really bad. Oh, but I know why that happens though. Scalar. It's not parented to anything. That way, when we go to FK Bendy Bone. Okay, but it still gets scaled, which is very interesting. So, what I need to do is that when I have this on, you have a limit scale constraint. Limit scale. 1, and then I just need to drive I don't know Blender, but if you need help with After Effects or visual editing in general, I'd love to help. Oh, that would be nice too. That would be nice too, because I am planning on switching back to After Effects to do the editing. Because I used to, before I did the editing in Vinci, didn't work, so I moved into Blender. But still, in Blender, you lose a lot of things when you do that, right? So, yeah, I'll probably be doing it in After Effects. So if you can do some After Effects too, that would be great. I would appreciate the help. The expression 1 minus that. So now when we switch between these two, it works flawlessly. Okay. Oh my god. I am getting a little bit antsy because I feel like I might be missing something, but in all honesty, this looks really good. I don't see anything else I could possibly do with this. So I'm gonna make a video just showing up all of this stuff. And just remember if this is everything I need. Alright, let's test it out. Still a little annoying to switch everything. Wait, why does this happen? That's why it happens, okay. Okay, we go back to IK mode and we turn off the FK bendy bones. And now we're back to IK. And I want to stretch it. I want to stretch it like this. If I want to go further than this. Interesting. How do I make it go further? Let me think about this. He loved Blender so much he started using Blender instead of editing for Indeed. Yes, I did. I I did it. I don't think I have an example of how I did it though, so it's in my laptop, which I don't have. Right, so what I want to do here, guys, right now is obviously, I wouldn't say it's obvious, but so if I go really far, that means, okay, it snaps at 1.9. No, exactly this is snap at. Stops moving here. Okay, and then this is 1.8.9, so basically, well, 1.9, it snaps, right? So the factor is 1.9, great. It's very, very, very good. So basically, what I'm seeing here is, after 1.9, that's when I can start affecting this. So we take the scale of this bone, and then I'm going to call this the this is going to be called the extender L. It's going to be called the retractor. No, extension. It's both extension and retraction. Top extender. Top ER. Extension retraction L. And then this is top. This is bottom. Okay. Once you know that, we go into the drivers. I'll show you how to do the drivers here. So what we need to do here is anything that is below 1.9, we don't care. So this is what's happening. Add an input variable, transform channel. We're going to look at our it's called the arm rig. We're going to look for this bone specifically. We're going to look at the average scale in local space. When this bone reaches 1.9, that's when we see this number increase. So I'm just going to go minus 1.9. Right, and it's going to be, variable minus 1.9. So now watch this. It's currently 0. It's currently negative, but you know these guys can't have negative numbers. So watch what happens when I scale this. Okay, there's a little bit of lag happening here between this. Oh no, it's not exactly 1.9, is it? This is 1.5. It depends. It really depends on the length, actually. That's annoying. Oh, then I have a better idea. I have a much better idea. No, I don't actually know. Shoot, I don't know actually. Oh, I have an idea. There we go. Take this bone. Copy the driver of this thing and put it in here. Delete the driver, paste this driver, and I'll tell you what the driver exactly is. We're taking, well, actually, you can probably just go backwards and find out what it is, because I didn't make a whole explanation on what this driver is, and I don't want to repeat. So we just do this driver, so we know what this value is, and we just do -1, so that when this finally reaches the top point, oh my god, it works! It works so seamlessly. Oh my god, I'm so happy. But now it's going to be a little bit annoying, because if I want to snap it on this position specifically, yeah, snapping it on this position specifically will be a little bit annoying. But I think that's something the animator can deal with, not me. Oh. Oh, here's an issue. Look at that. You have to float, or you have to max this out. No, we can't max this. That's okay. Oh, gotta, yeah. This is a little annoying. It's kinda cool, but it's not exactly what I'm looking for, because when we return to this position, it still stretches past it. Unless we reset this position. But if we reset the position, it does this. Not good. So we need something to always set this to 1. I need to find out the... But the scale is not necessarily equivalent, right? Let's look at this, okay? So we're gonna squish it downwards, right? If we squish it downwards, we have 1 divided by variable, and variable is the y scale of the overall bone. And then we add it with x minus 1, where x is the scale of this bone. Need to make an if statement, so if the bone is smaller than 1, right? Oh wait, no, I got this. Min 1. Is it not? I can't now. It can't be lower than 1. Still doesn't work. So, or no, this works, but that's okay. I'll just make it 2 different settings, I think. And then we delete this one for now. I don't need this at the moment. But this does work. Okay, this is great, actually. Okay, need to make sure I have everything ready. So we have FK, roll system is off at the moment. Okay, and then if we want the roll system to be rigid, we just turn this on. Okay. Ooh, and then one more thing is I want to see if I can make just a rigid version of this. So in order to make this rigid, I just put damp track. Or I can just set this to 0, but no, I think we damp track this to this controller. Y -1. So now this is controlling, this is kind of damp track to this. I'm gonna copy this as well. Make sure your damp track constraint is serious. Hopefully this does not cause a issue. This is not a cyclic dependency, is it? I hope not, because you're not affecting the location. Right, so now we have rigid. When he's making the rigs, he looks like a scientist seeing his inventions. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Right, so here we have the rigid bone, and then if you want to, obviously want to scale it, we just scale this up to a really high number. This works perfectly. Obviously, the farther away we go, this is becoming an issue. Right, so I need to think of a really smart way to do this. I need it so that when we choose exactly 2, it's maxed out. How do I do that? Right, so alright, we're gonna do another math class with TMR. So I'll teach you guys what's happening here exactly. What's happening here is that this will always stay in the same distance, right? Here. What we need to do in order to... Oh wait, I have an idea. So currently, I'll tell you what's happening here. The scale of this bone is equal to the length of the bone. For example, let's say that this distance, assume that this distance is 1 meter. If I was to scale this bone by 2, what would happen to this length? It would scale up by 2. So over here is another 1 meter. So the total length of the bone is 2 meters. Now, the scale is also 2. That means the scale is equal to the length, right? Right? So what we need to do now is we need to find a ratio to lock this controller at this position, because I want to have a no stretching mode active, right? So how do we find out how to lock this position, the constraint in this position. I'll show you right now that the constraint currently follows the bone and it's going to put itself on a specific position on this bone. So the way you lock it into this distance is to first get the total length of the bone and then the distance you want the bone to be in. So we want it to be 1 meter only. So we have 1 meter divided by the total length, which is the scale, right? And it's important that we use the scale because the scale changes, right? And that's how we lock it into this position. Now, we need to make a function that adds to this number so that it equals 1. Why does it equal 1? Because this is stretch when it is completely full. Here, because this is 1 in the factor. If you look at the factors here, right, the head tail factor, it's 1. We need to find a formula that makes it go to 1 and only 1, not 1.5, not 1 whatever, right? So I'm thinking we have to use this. I'm going to go back here. We're going to go for the head tail constraint. So here, we're going to remove this. We currently have 1 over variable. And right now, I want some way to switch this so that it goes towards 1. How do I do that? I'm going to go plus variable minus 1 divided by variable. And why does this work, right? 1 over 2, sorry, not 1 over 2, let's do 1 over 3, right? Plus, okay, so 3 is variable right now, right? Variable, which is 3, minus 1 over 3. What is this? 1 over 3 plus 2 over 3 is equal to 3 over 3, which is equal to 1. We got it. So this will be our variable, but we don't want this to always be in effect. We want this to be in effect only when we scale the bone. So we're going to add this back in. And what this x minus 1 does is basically, we look at this bone, we're reading the average scale of this bone. It's currently 1, right? When this bone is scaled at 1, I want it so that this setting is 0. So when the bone has nothing, right, it shouldn't move at all. It should be at this position. So what this does is it becomes 0, and then this term, it becomes meaningless. The problem is if we go negative, actually, it might do something, right? Because of that, I'm going to actually do this fine, right? And then when we scale it up, specifically once you reach 2, this will now always hit the top. All right. Oh, hello. Hi, Faisal. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream, Faisal. How are you doing, sir? We're doing a lot of math right now. Okay, so now that we have this, I can just disable the damn track constraints on this and this bone. And we go unhide the lattices. Now, because we have a control so that when this hits 2, it specifically goes into stretch mode. What was I saying? Now we can just copy this constraint, paste it onto this lattice, and then we make it so that when we just give an offset of -1. And the reason we give that offset is because at 0, we have no stretch. At 2, we have perfect stretch. And after 2, we have the extension. There we go. And the nice thing here is that the squash and stretch actually still applies on this. So that's really cool. And with this, we now have the perfected rig. I'm doing good. How about you? I'm doing amazing, sir. I feel like Einstein right now. I was working on the rig, right, for the past 2 months, and it was okay. It was my first time making a complex rig, and I was having a lot of I had to make a lot of what's it called? Choices, right? Between oh, I want this feature versus this feature. Which one is more important because they don't work together? And I was really annoyed that I said I was gonna do all of these stuff, but then in the end, I was like, you have this, but then you can't use it with this. So you have to turn it off, and it was really annoying. And I was like, that's not me. I'm smarter than that. So I spent the last 2 days brainstorming further based off of the knowledge I know, because I've already experimented for 2 months, but like that was on a specific system. So I took all of the knowledge from that system and applied it to a different system that I'm more familiar with, and that gave me a really good rig. So this is everything that the client wanted, but even better. And I'm really happy that I finally found it. Yeah. You can see all the math I did on the screen. Just gonna move it because it's a little messy. We're gonna have to do more math later. I'm just gonna add a new one and then delete the old notes. There we go. Hey. That's why you're the go. No, I'm the I'm the seal. I'm the seal of approval. All right, so I'm just gonna test this out again. Scaling here works. When we scale it to 2, it locks at the edge. When we scale above 2, it goes even further. This is just so good. This is so great. Oh my god, I'm crying. I'm crying. Tears of joy. Okay, interestingly, it doesn't work when it's at the base. Ooh, this is really interesting. Why doesn't it work when we're standing at rest? Oh, interesting. Okay, so when this is actually smaller than 1, it doesn't work. All right, let's find out why. Seal Production Studios. That should be my studio, you know. Okay, okay. We still have a few problems, and the first problem is, well, both problems stem from the same issue. When the bone is actually squashing, this happens. Interesting. Okay. So as long as it's a 2, it's fine. And then when we increase it to 2, ooh, it goes backwards. I think this is fine. This is a liability. It's not really a big liability, because there's no one is going to extend their limb if they're squashing their limb, if you get what I mean, right? The whole reason we have this this extension thing is so that you want to make your limbs longer. Like, this is an arm, so if you want to make your arms longer, you can. What's the point of making your arms longer if your plan is to squish it, right? If you're gonna squish your arm, why are you trying to make it longer? So there is no reason for this function. There's no reason for this function to work when we're squishing the arm. So this is totally fine. Right, got it. We're good here. Oh my god. Okay, so everything is working. I just need to make sure it's working on the other direction as well. And then once I have everything ready, I'm gonna send it for testing. And if he likes it, great. Doesn't like it? Well, I don't see a reason why he wouldn't like it. Okay. Make sure this works. Scaling up works. Scaling down doesn't work. I want it so that the scaling up makes it go outwards, and then the scaling down makes it go downwards. What is this distance? Can I get the measuring tool? I cannot get the measuring tool. Oh, here's the measuring tool. I need to find out the distance between this and this. This is approximately 0.475. Cool. Now I need to take the distance down here. .12. Okay, so let me get my calculator out, guys. Sorry for this. So it was 0. If I'm not wrong, 0.7. Yeah. So we have 0.475 divided by 0.12038, meaning we have to do 3.94. It's approximately 4 times, right? Cool. So I can just do a very simple 4 times. Should be about it. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, and then we're gonna copy this, paste it, but we're gonna use a different math. We're gonna use a different equation here, because we're gonna look at this. When I scale this up to 2, it's gonna be maxed out. So let's go here, and we're just gonna change this so that we go for the bottom ER settings. I'm following along with the rigging class. After all, we don't have tune force. I don't know what the tune force is, but yeah. Here, we're just gonna do x minus 1, so that when you hit 2, ooh, it still moves this. Why? So 1 second. I need to turn this off. Currently, I'm just gonna make you 0. So when I scale this up, it goes down. Perfect. And then when I scale you down, specifically to 0.5, you snap up all of this up. So how we do this, right? So default is 0, but then when this becomes 0.5, when this one becomes 0.5, when variable becomes 0.5, 1 second. I'm definitely getting sick for some reason. Right. So when variable becomes 0.5, you get 1. So divide this by 0.5. It will become 1, which makes it disappear, obviously. Oh, wait. It's not supposed to disappear immediately. Whoa. Okay, we have an issue here. So we have to go, let's just add a minimum function so it doesn't immediately go to 0. Variable divided by variable divided by 0.5. And then we also have a maximum function so it doesn't go more than 1. It's just for precautionary measures. It's gone now, for some reason. Okay, let's make it 0.9 maximum. Because if you go too close, it'll probably have issues. So it's not working as expected right now. Let's figure out why. Oh wait, I made a mistake. This has to be 0.01, and this has to be 0.95. There we go, much better. Smaller this number is... Nope, I'm very confused as to why this works. So currently, by default, let's try it on the function. So at x, okay, so let's just say the position on this spline is y, and then the scale of this is x. So at y is equal to 0, x has to equal to 1, and at y is equal to 1, x is equal to 0.5. Okay, this is a simple linear equation. So we'll do y is equal to ax plus b, where a and b are constants, and we'll plug in one at a time. So when y is equal to 0, x is equal to 1, so that's a plus b. And then this is equation number 1. Equation number 2 is when y is equal to 1, x is equal to 0.5, so it goes 0.5, a plus b. Okay. Now we have equation 1, equation 2. Now we just solve the equation. I'm just going to subtract both equations from each other. So we have negative 1 is equal to 0.5a, and d and b cancels out. So a is equal to negative 0.5. And then we just plug this back into the equation. 0 is equal to a plus b. We know that a is negative 0.5, so that means b has to be positive 0.5. If you did not understand any of that, go back to school, guys, and pay attention to simultaneous equations. Right, so that's the final equation is y, which is our function. So we don't actually need y. The function will be negative 0.5 x plus 0.5. Over here, we're gonna go minus 0.5 times the variable, which is x. Right, and then we're gonna go plus 0.5. Boom. So now when we scale this downwards, oh, look at that. Look. it doesn't go exactly as I expected. When x is 0.5, y is supposed to be 1. Is that correct? Did I make a mistake? Oh, I did make a mistake. My bad, guys. It's -1 divided by 0.5. Not, so it's actually -2, not minus 0.5. And then this would be +2. So the actual answer is -2x plus 2. My bad, my bad. Try that again. Okay, now we're at 1. Done. We got it. So we have the bottom part and we have the top part. Perfect. Soon he's gonna need another viewport to do the calculations eventually. Yeah. If you check some of my older rigs, you will see like small Easter eggs where I leave my calculations on the screen sometimes. It's kind of funny. But I'm gonna delete these for now. Okay, now everything is ready. I think this is it. We have everything we need. We have the bottom retraction and extension feature. We have the tweak system, squash and stretch. I mean, he also needed a manual squash and stretch system, but that can be done easily when I actually put this on the rig. Is there anything else that he needs? He needs that wrist thing, but I'm not gonna. I think that wrist thing's gonna be a problem, so I'm not gonna do it for now. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. We have the rigid as well, so I'm just gonna add rigid. And okay. The nice thing is everything kind of goes in together. I'm gonna add another bone here. I'm gonna call this the properties bone. And then I'm gonna go and add text properties. Oops, properties. Okay, and then here go bone shapes. Boom. Right, so we have a properties bone here. So when he wants to check all the properties, he can check it here. Into the properties we're gonna have our FKIK switches. We're gonna have properties for. We don't actually need properties for these bones because these bones are scaling bones. Duplicate, extension. I'll just call them stretch bones. Stretch. Over here, we're gonna go and give them this custom shape stretch. I made another mistake. Stretch. There we go. We have 2 stretch bones. This will obviously have to be at the top. This will be at the bottom. Okay. Doesn't stretch completely, but it's fine. And then we need a rigid switch. Just add a bunch of properties here for now. We'll call this rigid. And then this will be rigid roll specifically. Oops. Rigid roll. A switch. Let's do the FK switch first. So I'm going to copy the driver. And then it's just these two that we need to switch out. Paste. and that works, right? And I have to paste this here as well. So right now we're in FK mode. It's great. Where's that far though? You're not supposed to be that far. Yeah, what? Oh. Interesting. Okay, it was one of the cheekbones that was problematic. It's okay. No, it's not okay because we see this issue right here. -1. This is much better. 1. So actually this. Wait, it does matter. Oh yeah, it matters because of the position. Okay. This is arm FK. That one, this one. Add, and then paste the FK switch. I'm gonna call it X. So variable multiplied by X. Oh, not variable, sorry. -1 multiplied by X. Copy this, paste this here, and the reason we're doing this is so that when the FK switch is on. So now here, basically what happens is when FK switch is on, you can see that it is slowly changing between two different values. So we're good here. So we're good. Nice. You will calculate everything inside of it. If Blender needs a calculator tool, that's what Blender needs. He needs like a pop-up here, and it's just a calculator. I need that. Blender, please add that. That would be so useful. I don't want to do all my stuff in my hand. Okay, and I'm gonna copy this new driver, and we're going to go in here. We're gonna add an IK system. Overall bendy one goes in here. Weak bendy one goes in here. Roll system also goes in here, and then stretch bendy one system goes in here. And then we just paste this here, and then we make sure that it is the opposite. So 1 minus. And when I switch, okay, and also before that, I have to make sure that this is rounding. Because I want it to also work in between. So now when I switch, there we go. So if I want to pose this, okay, nice. And then we need a roll property, so we have normal roll, and then we need to add rigid roll. So I'll copy this straight, go up top here, paste this here, and now we have rigid roll. Okay, cool. Oh, I noticed something. Look at this. We have a cyclic dependency. All right, finally. Now I just need to find out what the cyclic dependency is. There's 2 cyclic dependencies. Damp track constraint. Oh, okay. So this damp track constraint is becoming an issue. So when I remove the damp track constraint, I still have issues because this has a depth track constraint. I just need to remove it, honestly, yeah? Yeah, okay. I have to figure out a way to get the normal one then. Oh, okay, then I have an idea. If I want, I can just put, here, start. Why? You guys can't see this, but I'm just doing a quick mathematical thing so that when you know what? Because this is a little bit complicated, I'm going to show it on here. So here, I want to make sure that the ease in and ease out are -1 when we have rigid on. So the reason why we want to make them -1 is because we're going to set it so that when rigid roll or rigid is y, right? So we're going to put y in here. When rigid, not rigid roll. Sorry, need rigid rigid option. There we go. Copy the driver. So here, when the rigid option, which is y, is on, this will be off. This -1 plus x is off, which it already always is off, but just in case. Actually, no, I don't need that. I just add -1 minus -1 multiplied by y minus 1. There we go. So now, notice that when, or no, not even -1. There we go. So we have this, and I just copy this into the ease in as well. Then I paste as y. There we go. So now, when I turn on rigid, boom, bro, it works. Okay, when it's 0, it actually starts happening at. Okay, at 0, it doesn't do anything, and then it starts slowly moving. From 0.7 is when it actually starts doing things. It's on. Yeah, it's okay. Right, so we have rigid controls on, rigid rolls on, FK switch is okay. Weak system is that's just the bendy bones, right? Or like the bone visibility, so I don't really care about that. Maybe I will just put a setting for it so I can enable disable it. Weak visibility. Boolean. Let's copy. And then we go into the tweak bones. There's the visibility for tweak bones. So now, we turn them on and off. Obviously, hide these. What are these? This is the overall. And but this is. Oh, that doesn't really matter. So now, if I want to turn on and off the tweak bones, I can. This is the roller. It'll give you your own special viewport display, specifically B-bone. No, sorry, not B-bone, envelope. And then we'll just make these smaller. That's a little too small. There we go. So now we can roll you. And if I want to turn off rigid roll. Ooh, okay. So turning off rigid roll and turning off, I have to turn off rigid as well. There we go. Much better. Okay, I'm done. Cool. All right. I think that's it for this stream. It was very successful. So I'm gonna stop here. But if anybody has any questions they want me to answer while I'm still here, I'll stay for a few minutes. If not, I will end the stream and I'll be updating my client about this new thing. So I'll just wait for 2 minutes. I'm gonna go take a toilet break, so you guys can ask questions if you want. Come back and answer them. It doesn't have to be rigging questions. You can ask me animation questions as well. Or if you want me to review anything, just let me know. Alright, no questions from anybody? Alright, I shall call it a day then. Thank you guys for joining the stream. I hope you have a nice rest of your day. I probably stream maybe 2 days, because tomorrow I got stuff to do. So we'll see. It is a Friday though. I don't stream on Fridays usually. Right, I'll maybe see you guys on a Saturday then. Right, bye.